Thank you very much. Okay, I want to get us started a little bit, hopefully to get a few more people in the room. Okay, so this side of the room from here on is going to say, on the count of 3, the power, and then this side of the room is going to say of love. Okay? Okay? Okay, ready? Okay, from this side over. 1, 2, 3. The power. This side? Oh, he's got it. Okay, so I got the uncomfortable, weird stuff out of the way. These 4 people who happen to, as individuals and as couples, be very close friends. I was at both of their weddings, so I know the power of their love for a long time, are so uncomfortable sitting under something that says power couples. So I just want, because it is.
We were having a joke with Steffi, and now we're on the agenda. This is the most uncomfortable thing any of us has ever done in our lives, I think.
Absolutely. We can attest to that.
So they said, well, if Lisa is doing it, since I love them and I witnessed their life, it's going to be fine. And then now I'm going to drill them. Okay? So I want to first say, because we're talking about not just about love, we're talking about love and impact. So Saskia, I'm going to give you a chance. You had a nice introduction. In a sentence, how do you make impact?
So I co-founded Yunus Social Business more than a decade ago, and we invest in social businesses around the world to fight poverty and the climate crisis, and also help corporates to become better businesses.
Good.
That seemed simple compared to anything else that's coming from now.
That's really good. Yeah, that was the easy part.
Very much comfort zone.
So I'm the founder of a real estate company, and we try to be the most sustainable office developer in the world.
Great.
I'm the Chief Growth Officer of a company that's trying to democratize access to capital.
She wouldn't say it, but I would just describe her as she gets shit done. That's what she does. Okay.
GSD.
Matthew.
Yeah, and I've been a journalist for a long time, written some books, co-founded Social Progress Index, Giving Tuesday, and Catalyst 2030.
And the humility of all that is really beautiful. Okay, now here's for the 2 uncomfortable questions. I asked them to have a piece of paper and a pen. And I don't know if you know that show in America where the host said, they asked a question like, what is your favorite to the couple? And then they have to reveal it very uncomfortably. I'm not going to ask anything that wouldn't be good on live stream.
Which live stream you're watching.
But I am going to ask for you each to answer this question in a word. Write it down, and then we'll share it. When you first laid eyes on the other, what was the first word that came to mind? Quickly. Yeah, you can't look. Now, I have pre-asked them questions, and they don't know the answers to each other's questions. So this could get uncomfortable, but just it's going to be fun. Okay? Okay, Saskia?
Opportunity.
Okay. I'm not going to unpack that. Okay, Coen.
I thought she must be Dutch. She's German, but no.
Okay, Ruma.
Oh, I'm boring. His intellect.
Okay.
Uninterested.
Okay, so we're going to take it from there. So I have, I'm going to leave it to one surprise question. They have great love stories. Do you want to add something?
No?
No, okay. You just.
I don't have a head mic.
Okay, are you ready? Saskia, what's the skill or attribute that you most admire in Coen that helps him achieve impact? In a word followed by a sentence.
Vision and entrepreneurialism. I've always been impressed. I mean, this man, 25 years ago, had a vision to build these sustainable buildings, and he's just gotten it done, and I find that very, very impressive, building something from scratch. There's a great story around there, which I will, if I'm allowed to add. Coen, when he was 20, didn't come from a lot of money, but he asked his mother, by the way, to lend him 10,000 euros, and he's built his business entirely from scratch. I find that very impressive.
Thank you.
Woo-hoo! Could you see the love in her eyes, right? Okay. How about you?
Well, Saskia has unlimited amounts of energy. She gets everything done. It's even, Putin can never win this European war as long as Saskia's there.
There you go.
She's a source of energy.
She doesn't see doors even, does she? She just walks through.
She keeps it going.
Keeps it going. How about you?
Matthew has this incredible ability to take really complicated ideas and things and simplify it. So suddenly I understand everything in the world. I just have to ask him. I don't need Wikipedia.
Very helpful for doing impact, okay? Remember, they don't know each other's answers. Matthew.
There's this Yiddish word called chutzpah, which really means sort of extraordinary audacity and confidence.
Yeah.
And I've just been awestruck, I think, over the years seeing Ruma, when she gets an idea in her head, she just goes for it and is with utter belief that it's going to happen. And it's an infectious quality that all sorts of people that have no intention of helping her at all suddenly find themselves on the board, or writing last checks, or going to front lines of refugee crises, all sorts of things. So she just has this extraordinary quality.
Fantastic. Now, I am so glad you're learning about their love life, but I'm hoping as you're thinking, writing down these questions, going back to a person you love and asking these questions as well. Okay, Saskia, I'm going to go back to you. What is your superpower as a couple? They don't know each other's answers. What is it in a word?
Energy to get stuff done. And as a disclaimer, I didn't know that you were going to say energy, because Lisa was telling us we're not allowed to talk to each other, and I did try to ask Coen, but I love breaking rules, and he was very much loyal to Lisa today. But energy to get stuff done, we both have that, and I think that's our connection also.
Coen, what's your superpower as a couple?
I said respect.
Aww.
Because I think that I feel a lot of respect from Sas, and I totally respect her so much, and that really helps each other. That sometimes you know that somebody is on a difficult moment, and then you can help each other. So respect is for me the big thing.
RESPECT, said Aretha Franklin. How about you, Ruma? What's your superpower as a couple?
Oh, where is it? I wrote connect.
You need your mic, sorry. There's a lot going on there.
I wrote connect because I think one thing that Matthew and I really like to do is connect people and bring them together and convene in dialogue and help people think about how they can make the world a better place.
In fact, who did you connect on this stage, for example?
These two lovely people over here.
Yeah. Yes. And by the way,
no, I saw two people who were tall and European, but I saw two people who really fundamentally wanted to improve the state of the world, and somehow I knew if the two of them got together, it would create a lot of magic, which it has.
yeah.
Yep.
Well done, Ruma. And it was a slam dunk. So it was I met her that day, and then that day she connected me to Coen. So that was a quick success. Low-hanging fruit, clearly.
Okay, superpower, Matthew, as a couple.
Yeah, I went with connectedness as well, but also, as that answer's already been done, maybe some impatience as well. I think we're kind of people that don't like to hang around if we see something that needs doing, and I think we're also quite impatient with each other when we see each other having an idea and not going for it as fast as maybe we should do, and we push each other quite a lot.
It's gorgeous. Okay, now I'm asking them to be self-reflective about the skill they're working on themselves to help them be more effective as a couple. Matthew, I'll go with you. What are you working on?
There's a long list, but I think generally transparency and communication, because I think I'm very British in not talking very much about what I'm up to and doing, and I think as a result we often find that we both made plans to go off and do some project somewhere at the same time and have forgotten that we have a 9-year-old son at home that kind of needs someone to look after it. In fact, I don't know who's looking after him at the moment.
He's roaming the streets of London, I'm sure, in a wolf pack. Ruma, how about you? What are you working on?
I think building on that, I have listening, because when you're two people from two different cultures, there are a lot of differences that you don't necessarily realize.
Ruma, yeah.
There are a lot of cultural differences that you don't necessarily realize because they're nuanced. So I think learning to really hear each other and listen to where that other person's coming from a deeper place, I think is something that I'm trying very hard to work on.
Yeah, so you two are from a different culture, and you two are from 3 different cultures in some way. The German and Dutch are less different than the Canadian. So what are you working on, Coen, to make your relationship more effective?
I would say for me the big thing is time or time management. There are so many things that come towards us. And in my case, you have your work and then all the obligations and all the fun stuff that is happening. So many friends over the years that invite you for all kinds of good stuff that sometimes you can be out for too long. And then, you have to really manage that and make sure that there's also time for each other and our son. And that's something, time management is for me the most difficult thing that I really have to invest a lot of time in, I guess.
Yeah, and I wrote, to be honest, the exact same thing. I wrote balance, because I think we're both so passionate about the stuff that we're doing, and we're both, like, we always rather say yes than no to anything, that we just run around and we can, get busy, and then we need to take that time again to come together as a couple and have those reconnection moments, and we try and plan that in more and more, but sometimes we keep ourselves very busy with the outside world as well.
Oh, good. So both these couples were pretty self-aware of each other's, like what they're working on now. The next question is, it seems very glamorous to be a power couple and love and impact as much as that makes you squirm. But what's the downside, Coen? I'll start with you too. What's the downside of being this so focused on impact in your relationship?
I wrote down crazy. It's just insane. There's just so much happening at the same time, and I'm already sort of feeling very busy with myself. And then Saskia comes home, and she has done even crazier stuff, right? It's just imagine if we are tonight sort of lying in bed and like, oh, who do you meet today? What new ideas did you have? Then, yeah, we can talk all night about all the things that we came up with.
Yeah.
Sas?
Yes, and I see that and I fully agree. And at the same time, I actually wrote, I can't find it right now, no downside. Oh. Because in some ways, I mean, we both love what we do, and the fact that we are both entrepreneurs inspires us. Also, like, that's also what brought us together, and it gives us the energy. Like, I can always ask Coen for advice, he asks me for advice, and we can figure out things. So in some ways, I don't think it's a downside that we're in impact or anything like that. I think, like, whatever we would be doing, I think it's rather the opposite. I don't see a big downside, to be very honest.
Matthew, how about with you two?
I mean, I suppose one thing that we probably both acknowledge is that, I think because of the work that we do, you get a lot of people saying nice things about you, some of the time anyway. And when you're at home having a row, it's kind of, you feel doubly bad when you realize everyone thinks you're having a row with a saint on the other side, and you feel like slightly, when you go to talk to your friends and say, oh, I did this terrible row with Ruma, and they say, but she's lovely, everyone thinks she's always doing this good stuff, and anyway, so I feel like, what am I going to do?
Okay, that's not for public consumption. I'm going to change my answer.
What did you originally say, Ruma? What did you originally say?
I said something similar to Saskia. I think it's upside and down. Anything in an extreme can be a downside, right? But I think that when you are both working in similar worlds, then time management. I wrote managing time with our son because, we go to the same conferences, we like the same things, and then it's like, oh, wait, we have a child. Yeah. So that's the time management piece gets difficult. But otherwise, I think the downside is also an upside.
Yeah, let's hope he's not watching the live stream.
Yeah, I know. Raj, we love you. We love you, Raj. So I asked each of you as a couple, to prepare a quick story anecdote about the power of your love. I know this is getting really cheesy, but the power of it, but I love it too. The power of your love making impact. Saskia, Coen, which one will lead on that? What's a story, like a sticky story to share with folks?
Well, I think, first of all, I think the fact that we support each other in each other's mission is important. And sort of the idea that just came to my mind was, when I Coen and I started dating, and I was living in Frankfurt at that point in time, and he really didn't have any business whatsoever in Frankfurt, but he picked up the phone and called the CEO of some big bank in Frankfurt and said, like, I should be coming to Frankfurt to sell you a sustainable office building. And the guy luckily then eventually said yes. And so that's how he was then able to come to me and say, oh yeah, I have a meeting in Frankfurt. Do you want to have dinner? And so in some ways, like I say, well, I'm good for business. And I would say we support each other and each other's missions. And I think that's how we can make more impact together. But I'm also thinking about, perhaps Coen has been working more on the environmental side. I've been working more on the social side. I think maybe in the next phase, now after you've asked me that question, maybe we can see how we can combine those two missions and actually do some more fun stuff together. But we haven't figured that out yet.
Steffi, will we have them back on the stage to report on what happens? How about Ruma and Matthew? How about you guys?
Actually how we met was quite interesting in the sense that Ruma wrote this book about the time she spent working with Mother Teresa called Mother Teresa's CEO, and that had landed on my desk at The Economist the same day as a study of the management lessons of Lady Gaga. And I wrote this column in The Economist called The Business Lessons of Mother Teresa and Lady Gaga, because they were both very similar about identifying with outsiders and so forth. And I think this helped Ruma's book do very well because we had a fantastic picture, Andy Warhol style, half Mother Teresa's head, half Lady Gaga with steak on it, that they flashed on the cover of The Economist. That helped your book do quite well. And then she wrote a thank you note to The Economist, not knowing who'd written the article, offering to buy the person who wrote the article a drink. And the rest eventually was history. And so I think maybe there's a sort of symbiotic win-win there. Kind of who knew journalism had these perks? But
what I should have written in that first card was he was an hour and a half late.
Okay, quick speed round. We have 2 minutes left. I know none of you feel like you're in a position to give advice, but I'm asking you to give advice. So you didn't offer it. I'm asking, what advice do you have out for couples to make more impact and love at the same time? Sas, in a word, quick.
Support each other's mission or eye-level partnership, both go hand in hand.
Yeah.
I'll put them both out.
Coen.
So I wrote down the word space, and it means two things for me. The one is that you have to give each other a little bit of space to do things and travel and trust each other. And at the same time, you have to be in their space when they come home and they need help. And, we can be strong on the outside, but sometimes on the inside, it's also a confusing period. And then I think that connection is very important.
So I have two things. One is values, and the other one is find someone who sees the world with the same lens that you do, because that gives you an incredible freedom. It makes you feel seen, it makes you feel heard, and it makes you feel understood.
Matthew.
No, as you know, I didn't like this term power couple, and it may be very squeamish, but I think as I look around, the people I know, people here, and you think about the moment that we're in as a world, and you heard Martin Wolf this morning, we're really in a dangerous place as a world, and I just think there are so many couples who, in their lives, are in very influential positions, and if they actually spent some time thinking about how could we help each other, and work as a couple that can together have a joint mission around trying to change some things in the world, there'd be a lot of people out there actually who would find that they had got networks and ideas and things where they could actually help each other. I've often found with us that, we eventually, we're busy doing something and then we finally talk about it to each other and then it turns out a few people that could really help with that and you can make an introduction and so forth. I just think a lot of us, or a lot of people out here are in a similar place and I just, would urge you to sort of look at what you could do as a couple together as well as individuals.
I think I'll leave it with just a piece of gratitude from me to many of you are in relationships, have children, people in your lives that support and maybe sacrifice so you can be here. My husband, Christoph, is at home with our two kids, Bruno and Otto, teenagers, and they're always loving me and supporting me. And so just maybe reflect, send a thank you to those who stand behind us and do this work and really from the heart. So we're going to end with the power of love. Are you ready? I think we should stand up, though. I think we should stand up. Okay?
We're standing too.
Okay, right here, but really loud, because we're here, Design Life Digital. All of us give a shit about making the world a better place. It has to come from here, yeah? Or here, or whatever it is. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The power
love.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.